To say it's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today.
Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Today is the first day of May. Well, the Yankees and Mets both lose. Mets had a 1-0 lead and had a great pitching performance from this pitcher who was pitching in the majors and was then went into minor league baseball and then picked up by the Mets and playing in Syracuse, pitching in Syracuse. And he pitched 4 shutout innings, hitless innings. I mean, he was on fire yesterday.
I'm heading
but the bullpen blew it. So.
I'm heading to Syracuse tonight to see the baby Bombers and the Mets.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a bunch to get to here today. Coming up in a minute, we'll speak with Ryan Schmelz from Fox News. As SALT Republicans huddling with Speaker Johnson on some key issues, and that includes New York Republicans as well, and we'll get into to that with Ryan Schmelz. Tanya J. Powers is up in a little bit. Thursday is the National Day of Prayer, and we'll talk to Tanya about that here this morning. Obika's free money question today is going to be worth Davey.
You want me to do it now, early?
Well, you can think about it. You think about it.
I got it.
Oh, you have it in your head already.
Yeah.
And it is
$250.
$250 this morning. Former Lieutenant from Utica Police Department, Steve Hauk, is on this morning. He has been in California and has been there, I'm pretty sure, since the wildfires.
Oh, wow.
And has been working and commissioned out there. We'll speak with him later on this morning on that. Mohawk Valley Gives. We're up to the point where if you're a nonprofit, a group looking to have a donation made during the Mohawk Valley Gives Day, which comes up later on in the year, I believe the opening is coming up where you actually sign up. And you don't want to miss the deadline, because if you do, I know, you're a bit screwed.
Are you guys in for it this year?
We will be, and Tim will be in a little while. Tim Reed and I do Real Men Get Tested for Cancer, and there on the Community Foundation's website, you're able to give. Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood on discovery laws in the state budget. I think this whole thing is probably going to take into next week now. We have an update on Herkimer County. The legislature has a special meeting tomorrow, and I believe that that meeting will be streamed. You may be able to watch it on Facebook Live tomorrow, and they're going to take up the issue of appointing the deputy chairman, the vice chairman of the Herkimer County Legislature, Pete Campione, as chairman of the Herkimer County Legislature. So they are making that move. It is interesting, too, in speaking with Jim Wallace yesterday, the rules, and this is, I think a lot of municipalities have these rules. When it comes to an elected official, duly elected by the people, it becomes, the rules are very difficult to remove someone. So we're talking about Robert Hullum, who currently is awaiting another court appearance after being arrested on violation of probation. And so I think you have a lot of people who are saying enough is enough. This is 3 times. He should be removed, and somebody should be appointed in his position. It's one thing to remove him from chairmanship. It's another thing to remove someone from an elected position. So I believe their rules don't allow for it. And I think they're going to review those rules, and they probably need to.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
Okay, so if they remove Bob as chairman of the Herkimer County Legislature, can he still serve on the legislature? It's just a regular.
As of right now, from what I understand, Friday's meeting is not to remove him as a legislator because they right now don't have the legal authority to do so. But you've got a problem here. You have somebody who's currently in jail and is a legislator. It is you got to relook. You got to look at the rules. If they don't allow someone to don't allow a legislature to make a move, and it doesn't right now. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little later on this morning as well. And how about and this has hit national news, this story out of West Hill.
Bizarre. How about that?
It is which is a school in Syracuse, and this hazing that occurred on the lacrosse team. So right now we know, and as I said, this story has hit national news. It was on NBC last night. 11 West Hill boy lacrosse players face charges over kidnapping of a younger teammate, according to the district attorney.
I watched that press conference on Tuesday when DA Fitzpatrick announced the hazing violation, and he says, "You 11 boys got 48 hours to turn yourselves in."
And the difference would be on what charges they would face. If they voluntarily turned themselves in, they would receive a lesser charge. And I believe maybe 7 of them did. I forget what the number is. But at least 11 of those members of the West Hill Boys lacrosse team facing criminal charges after a hazing incident. And it's a bad one. The older students, according to the DA, told 5 younger players they were going to get food together after going to watch a lacrosse game Thursday together. That night, the kids were taken to a remote location in the southern part of the county. Fitzpatrick said the vehicle stopped. Other players in hoods came out and tackled them, and there were knives involved and guns, Tim.
Yes.
This is just good old-fashioned fun.
just
Fun.
prank.
A prank that Fitzpatrick says, I think his wording was, this is not hazing. This is criminal activity. This is hazing on steroids, is what he has to say. And this is really hit national news.
Well, and a couple of the kids they're of age where they're going to be brought up on
well,
big kid charges.
You're right. And although if they turned themselves in, they received a lesser charge. But nonetheless, this one is rough.
Yeah.
And after all the hazing stuff that has gone on and the repercussions for hazing, it really surprises me that this is even going on anymore.
How come when I get texts from people outside the area, I don't get anything about Chobani, but I get, what about West Hill?
West Hill thing, yeah.
What is bad news travels on the back of a rabbit, and good news on the back of a turtle or something.
I'm afraid you're right. And then Massapequa, did you see the story there? That is Westchester, I think, Long Island School District. And they're the Chiefs.
Uh-oh.
And they are refusing to change their mascot.
Well.
In fact, if you've ever been down there, there's like a giant statue of an Indian, Native American, I guess you can say Indian, with a headdress and everything right in the center of town.
Right.
And it's all because we are Chiefs proud, or our Chiefs pride. And so their parents don't want to do it. The school board doesn't. Nobody's doing it. And the state is saying, we're going to pull aid if you don't make the change. But guess what's happening? President Trump is getting involved.
Oh, my.
So the feds are investigating to see whether or not aid can be pulled by New York State, because that was the threat. You either change or we're pulling aid. And there is a Native American who's in that community, who went to school there, who played sports there, who is now 60 years old, and he is a part of the group that's saying there needs to be a change. However, he is considered a minority, and yes, he is in the minority, because down there they don't want any change. I guess I don't understand the, and I grew up with a Native American mascot.
Right.
At Mohawk. We were the Mohicans, which was not native to the Mohawk Indians were native to the area. The Mohicans were not. And our mascot was this, almost, it looked like the Cleveland Indians mascot.
Chief Waka something.
Wakamaka.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But ours was named Mo, M-O-E, Hawk. And that kind of kid-looking Native American with one feather coming up in the back. And it was clearly there on the big doors that would split the gym in half when they turn them, those giant doors that would close. Right there on the door was Mohawk. And, I grew up there, and our district Mohawk was merged with Ilion. It's now Central Valley Academy. That happened about 10 or 15 years ago. And I just don't have that. It's not built in me to have that. Well, you're not going to take my school away. You're not going to take my, if they're going to merge the schools, it should be Mohawk. It shouldn't be Ilion, and it shouldn't be Central Valley Academy. So I find that, but there are some communities where people don't move away. They're ingrained in that community. Their parents went there. Their grandparents were chiefs, and they ain't changing.
Yeah, it's kind of like old TV shows. You don't know why those mascots became what they were, whatever it is. But, like, you think you're going to run, All in the Family today.
Right.
Right? I mean...
Right. And it does run today, by the way, and it is
I'm sure,
shocking.
But it's not prime time.
When some of those words that come out of his mouth, which we say today, oh, you can't say that on TV. I don't know how you can get away with that.
Some of the old, Little Rascals things or whatever it is and stuff. I mean, they just, there's an appropriate nature. And I know the word evolve somehow becomes like a terrible word or whatever it is and stuff.
Well,
I think we've become a bit more, hopefully we've become a bit more sensitive towards the feelings of others.
One would think, but I don't know if you've ever, when you go to college, when you went to college, if you ever had classmates from Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
It's like having classmates from New Jersey.
At Hamilton, we had a number.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm not surprised that Massapequa is like, no, we are not changing our Native American mascot. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio, Salt Republicans huddling with Speaker Johnson. What do we know, Ryan? Good morning. And by the way, when you grew up in high school, did you have a mascot that was Native American?
No, I never did.
No, it's a big issue here in New York.
I had animals. I had animals as my mascot.
Okay.
I was a cougar. I was an eagle, and I was a lion.
Okay, all right.
I would have thought he was a unicorn.
The fearless lions.
The horse.
The little horse, the little unicorn. Okay, what's going on here? I know we got into a little bit of this because. We're watching this very unique story where Elise Stefanik and Lawler are both talking about running for governor, and Mike Johnson doesn't want them to. Obviously, we're talking about potentially thin margin, and so these New York Republicans are playing a big role in everything right now. What do we know about this one?
Well, there's two things that the New York Republicans are kind of having a big factor on. Number one, I mean, look, they all have a lot of leverage right now because if just one more person becomes a no on the one big beautiful bill, it's likely to be sunk.
Right.
So, Republicans want a salt cap deduction increase in the one big beautiful bill, but they also are very, very adamant that they don't want any cuts to essential services when it comes to Medicaid, because right now there's a big discussion about what reforms to Medicaid Republicans can get through that would actually be supported widely as a conference. That work requirements is one of the things they're looking at, or an expansion of work requirements for able-bodied people on Medicaid. That's probably something that would get a lot of support, but I think it depends on what they put in there. And I think there's also a debate about how much that would actually save the government, too. So, you got the SALT cap, you've got Medicaid, and those are kind of the big factors right now.
This goes right back to we want to cut the size of the federal government. Just do not cut anything that affects my constituents. Yep. And that seems...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's kind of the big part of it. But, SALT Republicans, they have a lot bigger of a voice than they did maybe back when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed in 2017. And in this case, they want some type of increase that cap in order to get them to yes. But red state Republicans aren't really big fans of that, because this is something that only impacts blue states, really. But also, there's a feeling amongst Republicans that this is one of the more costly tax deductions that's in the piece of legislation. And, when you have $4.5 trillion over 10 years, you're trying to squeeze as much of President Trump's agenda into one, piece of legislation. That $4.5 trillion gets eaten up very quickly. And, that's going to take away from the possibility of being able to put no taxes on tips, no tax on overtime in there, all that.
Going to be interesting to see where this whole thing goes, but all of this push and give and all of these debates are all about the fact that we're already talking about the midterms. We already have candidates who are coming forward saying, yes, I'm going to challenge my current congressman. So believe it or not, that season is not that far off. And then, Ryan, one more thing. Last night, it was late yesterday, the Senate, and it was a tie vote. They were trying to limit the powers that the president has when it comes to tariffs. That probably was going nowhere anyway, but that failed in the Senate.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's in many ways it could send a message. I did not get the whip count on how many Republicans voted no or voted for this. Yeah. But J.D. Vance had to come to Capitol Hill and break the tiebreaker on that vote. So, I mean, that's I think kind of shows maybe a little bit of the tension that's going on between some Republicans and President Trump on tariff policy. I think a lot of them still are on board with him and believe tariffs can be a good tool. But, I mean, when you saw Jamison Greer, the trade representative here a couple weeks ago, you definitely saw some tension starting to brew amongst Republicans and President Trump, because I think there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, and they're hearing from their constituents who are exporters. So there's a lot there.
The turbulence in the stock market, as President Trump said yesterday, that's not mine. That's Biden's turbulence. Ryan Schmelz, thank you. We appreciate it. And that's Biden's problem. Okay. We'll see how people see it. Quick update on the news coming up, 6:36 at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. 5 former Oneida County Corrections officers had their day in court yesterday over the death of inmate Robert Brooks. The ex-officers are among a group of 10 people accused of being involved in the beating death that took place last December. The 5 considered plea offers but did not reach a decision because they were reviewing new discovery information of evidence that couldn't be accessed by the defendants or their legal teams. 2 corrections officers are charged with murder while 3 are charged with manslaughter. All 5 are due back in court in mid-May, so they have more time to consider their options. A Utica man was arrested for an alleged carjacking. According to Utica police, officers were called to the 1400 block of Erie Street, where a victim claimed they were entering the car as 34-year-old David Colon allegedly dragged them from their car and took the keys from their hands before fleeing in the vehicle. Authorities say they found surveillance footage of the alleged incident and identified Colon. The car was found abandoned on Orchard Street the next day. Colon was arrested on Tuesday and charged with second-degree robbery. Governor Kathy Hochul spoke yesterday about how the new state budget will positively impact the area. She referred to it as Mohawk Valley Budget Wins, speaking of the child tax credit as well as slashing taxes for the middle class and using inflation refund checks. She says it will put thousands of dollars back into hardworking residents' pockets, especially amid a skyrocketing cost of living. Around 43,500 families in the area qualify for the child tax credit, which allocates up to $1,000 per child under 4 and $500 for kids under 16. And the strong storms that battered central New York on Tuesday have taken down a decades-old Christmas tree in Rome. The tree, which was purchased and planted in Veterans Park by the Rome Lions Club in 1981, was felled by the strong winds. It was uprooted, so it's unable to be saved. Rome's Department of Public Works have cleared the area. Rome Mayor Jeffrey Lanigan said crews worked hard to tidy up the major storm damage across the city, including hard-hit areas like Elm Street that saw many downed trees, to help National Grid restore power. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Mild weather continues to surge back in after a chilly morning today. We're going to be into the 70s by tomorrow, but showers and thunderstorms are going to return. Their cold start, sun later up near 70 degrees. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, mid-50s. Friday, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high near 75 degrees. Maybe some stronger storms late in the day and at night. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stijik, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and 37 degrees, and we're going up, as Ray says, near 70 today and tomorrow. But I don't know if you've looked into the weekend right now. Here we go again.
Oh, yeah.
Another wet, soaking, cooler weekend is on the way. I don't know what's going on, but
Beautiful March day.
it is. Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, I have more to get to coming up. There's a Tesla story out there that's if you go out to the Turning Stone, you see all those Teslas all over the place.
Yeah.
You can still get service out there, and you can buy a Tesla there. It's funny. I saw a Tesla driving down the thruway yesterday, and there's a sticker on the Tesla, and it said it had a picture of Elon Musk, and it had the red circle with the red line through there. It was an anti-Musk Tesla driver.
Wow.
And now there's an anti-Musk Tesla story out there. We'll get to that coming right up. Also, this morning, if you make less than $300,000 as a family in New York State, get ready. You're about to get, it'll be in the fall probably, but you're about to get a check from the governor. We'll talk about that coming up at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and servicing Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/radio. That's HIMS.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Let me go before we get started here. By the way, Tim Reed in this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me go to Cordelia. Good morning, Cordelia. Good morning. You're on the radio. Happy May Day.
Thank you. I'm talking about Stefanik.
Okay, Lee Stefanik, yes.
Okay. Now, they built her up. They made her go through all their hearings. And then when they saw the writing on the wall a little bit, they said, oh, by the way, we don't need you in that spot. Well, they threw her off the boat. So then, now she's going to be our congressman, which I'm happy about, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I think that she should go to the Speaker of the House and demand to get some of those positions she had in the House.
I think that is kind of the argument that's going on right now, and it is very interesting to see that she went from the golden, yeah, right up there, perfect. Boy, Tim, you're getting good at this. You might have to come every day.
No.
Cordelia, I'm sorry. It is interesting to see where she was like the golden one, the golden child, and this. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you didn't have to give this to me. You didn't have to reward me with this, because now look what you've done. Now look what you've made me do. And I think that it's gotten a little bit murky, and it's cast a negative shadow on her that doesn't necessarily, you wouldn't expect, because she was doing so well. And now she's lost all of these positions and committees and all of that, and talking about running for governor, and then she's saying, you know, there's an argument over, are you speaking with Mike Johnson or are you not speaking? This is turning into a mess. And it's Republicans arguing with Republicans, so probably not a good idea when the big, beautiful vote is just around the corner here.
I think she should go in with Schumer and try to keep DFAST up here.
Yeah. Well, I know that the story is they're down 100 employees. Is that what?
There 100 probationary employees are going to be probably out, and then there's talk of another tranche.
And God forbid we lose that. There is a problem out there, though, where I think a lot of workers are working remotely, and that is not a positive thing with this current administration.
No, you have to be at the desk.
Yeah, you got to be there. So
and well, I think if she would get on the bandwagon with Schumer and get herself out there, and that she's viable.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing.
Well, and it's hard in this day and age for Republicans to work with Democrats and Democrats to work with Republicans. We want that to happen, but I don't know. We will see. So, all right, Cordelia, thank you.
It's just a heartbreaking thing for this young woman who had so much get up and go in her.
Yeah.
And like the first time, she was supposed to be our congressman before they gerrymandered.
Right,
She
right.
was right in the room. She was right at Griffith. She was right every place else. And then they chopped her out. So
Well,
then they have to
I did see her speak at the Chobani event the other day, and she was very popular. A lot of people asking to have pictures taken with her, and I thought her speech was really good.
Good. That's
so
a good side right there.
Okay. All right, Cordelia. We'll keep an eye on it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
thank you. There's a story right now about the Tesla board has already begun the process to replace Elon Musk as CEO of Tesla. So now you kind of know why Musk is saying, I'm going to step away. I'm going to get back to business.
Right.
All right.
Business is business.
Business is business. And I kind of feel like he's pretty wealthy. I don't know if you've heard.
Really?
And I don't think he needs to worry all that much about money until he needs to worry about money.
Right.
And this is that. And
well, I think it gets beyond the money. I think it becomes ego to a large extent. I mean, it's
you're
like,
on stage, you're campaigning with the president,
and then suddenly someone says, is trying to knock you off your high horse. They don't take to that well.
He's the guy though that had to do that took credit for doing all the dirty work.
Yep.
Right. So that was probably never going to be really a great position for him. So take it for what it is. Now, are you ready? Part of the budget, which is it looks like this part has been worked out. It was going to be $500, but it looks like it's going to be $400. Here are the numbers.
Oh.
The governor says that lawmakers have agreed to dedicate $2 billion for inflation refunds. It's part of the 2026 fiscal year's $254 billion budget. And here's how much you're going to get, depending on where you are income-wise. For families or joint tax filers who make less than $150,000, you're going to get a check for $400.
Wow.
I'm wondering, Disney maybe?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean,
I don't know. Wait is now. I don't know. Maybe you're going to swing by Daylight Donuts and pick up.
You're right.
Frittata.
That's the egg white frittata.
Egg white frittata
Sandwich on a croissant.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I just
good.
did a Joe Lowdown.
A speedy drive-through at Daylight Donuts. You're in, you're out, you're on your way. You don't have to wait. The donuts are made fresh there every day.
Okay, now
Chuck and the crew are incredible at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford.
Well, it's a good thing that we don't have a deficit, so we're in good shape to be able to take care of this.
That's a very good point. All right, so $400 for families or joint tax filers who make less than $150,000. If you make between $150,000 and $300,000, you'll receive $300. $200 for individuals making less than $75,000. And $150 for individuals making between $75,000 and $150,000. So anywhere from $400 to $150. And the governor says everyone in New York will get this rebate. That is, unless you make over $300,000, and then you're not getting it. So there you go.
Teach those people.
But, I remember when this came, and it is interesting to watch Republicans criticize this. And when it wasn't, it was a long time ago, if you remember, when Pataki did this.
Yes.
And there was the rebate check. Well, that was different. I get it, but it's all pretty much the same.
It's we don't want to call it buying votes, but...
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's coming in the fall. We don't want to do it now.
Well, those tend to be a little bit more popular than the when the tax bill comes. That tends to be a letter you don't want to open.
That's exactly right. I just find these are it'd be better off doing it as a lottery where, I don't know, 150 people win $1 million. It's like, wow, look at that. At least you feel like you're getting something. But what are you going to do with $150? Or what are you going to do with $400?
Right.
I mean, I just don't understand that. At least during COVID, they were sending out some pretty sizable checks.
Well, yeah, the economy was in
It was
touch of trouble.
in the tanker.
Yeah.
Tanya J. Powers, today, by the way, is... Good morning, Tanya Powers. Good morning.
I'm sorry. I'd like to sign up for one of those $150 or $400 checks. That would hit the spot right now.
Well, I do understand that. It is a... in fact, it was just yesterday my daughter calling me to say, I've been doing my A, B, and C, and they still haven't paid me, and they owe me $400. So $400 can be something to argue over, depending on where you are. There's no doubt about it. All right. Today, Tanya, is the National Day of Prayer. What does this all mean for us and those around the country and government?
Well, if you the kind of the history on this is it was done as a joint resolution of Congress in 1952. It's been going on since then. It was signed into law by President Harry Truman. In 1988, President Reagan kind of amended that, but made it a National Day of Prayer on the first Thursday of May, which is why it's always on the first Thursday of May now. The co-host for this year's event is Tim Tebow. They have planned, there's gatherings across the country. I mean, depending on, your area, there could be quite a few of them. Matter of fact, if you go to nationaldayofprayer.org, you can, right there on the front page, it's got the National Day of Prayer theme, which comes from Romans 15. There's a way to find a local gathering. It just says right there on the front page, find a local gathering. If you click on that, you can enter your city, your zip code, your state. You can put that in there, and it will list all of the ones, in your area, and tell you, okay, here's where the in-person events are. You can also list the virtual events in case you can't get to one in person and you'd like to, observe it. There should be a listing for that as well. You can click that little box. But there's stuff going on across the country. In Washington, there is the Capital City National Day of Prayer this afternoon from 3 to 5 at the Capitol. They're going to have something there near the reflecting pool that's expected to be well attended. I don't know how many lawmakers might actually attend that one, but I would imagine there might be a few in the crowd. And at 11 this morning, the president will attend the National Day of Prayer observation. He'll participate in that in the Rose Garden. So that's just a couple of the things going on. It's important to note, according to the National Day of Prayer website, it is not sponsored or owned by any group. It's for all Americans. So it's not also not a political thing as well.
Although I did hear a commercial for it just yesterday. They were promoting it, and it was brought to you by the Trump Bible. I don't know. Maybe maybe not.
Tanya was praying for one of those checks.
That's right. Everybody, day of prayer. Pray for the check. All righty. All right, Tanya. It'll be a day of prayer here. And all I can tell you is I've been praying for May for quite some time. I'm glad the month of May is finally here. We're moving towards nicer weather, and we could all use that. All right, Tanya, have a wonderful day today. Thanks so much.
We love it when a prayer is answered. Thank you.
That is right. All right, thanks. Tanya Powers from Fox News Radio. Donna this morning says, I understand washing your bottle before drinking. Oh, Donna's been watching on YouTube. Yeah. I understand washing your bottle before I have a Diet Pepsi bottle here. Thank you, Davey. I understand washing your bottle before drinking, but please tell me you're not cleaning it with Clorox wipes, then putting it in your mouth. Is that bad?
How could bleach hurt you?
I don't. Well, they say it's non-bleach. Those Clorox wipes. I wonder what's in it.
I'm sure it says on the side, "Please do not ingest."
Well, just so you know, I clean off the cap and the and the bottle. It's been sitting in the refrigerator with some of the cleanest people in radio. I will tell you. That's not saying much. Nonetheless, I just cleaned off the top of that. And
that's
then,
nice, but that's nice. A listener actually cares about you.
Yes, Donna's
one does.
Keeps an eye on me. One does. At least one does. All right, listen, coming up, we'll speak with Kayla Ellis and Kristen Smith. They're both with the Community Foundation and MV Gives. There's a reason why Tim's here today, and we'll get into that. Okay. And Hobica's free money question coming up.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment, and trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor's spring sales event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Jake Cannell with Blues here of the Blues Brothers of Central New York, here at the Rome Capitol Theater, preparing for the CNY Onstage Live event.
And this event is going to be bigger than ever.
It's showtime for 18 incredible acts on Saturday, May 10th at 7. Magicians, comedians, musicians, and Showtime the Band with special guests. CNY on stage live at the Capitol Theater, Saturday, May 10th at 7. Tickets on sale now.
Hey, let's talk about concrete and masonry work. Brank Construction, B-R-A-N-C-K. They've been around for years. They'll get the job done. This is their slogan. They'll get the job done right and right on time. That is a big deal. Brank Construction, old stone walls, old block walls, foundation repair, masonry and concrete work. I always talk about the work they've done for us, whether it was patio work or just that incredible, if you call them, just tell them you want to see the picture of the stairway that they built into our backyard at our former home. I mean, it looked like it had been there for 100 years, and 100 years of beauty, like just great craftsmanship. They do a tremendous job. Call them today at 315-894-3481. If you need masonry work, whatever it might be, concrete work, they have you covered. Brank Construction, 894-3481.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
The U.S. and Ukraine make a deal. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's an agreement to help recoup some of the money the U.S. has spent helping provide military aid to Ukraine to fend off Russia's invasion. It allows for American access to Ukraine's lucrative rare earth minerals. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent signed the deal and tells Fox's Hannity.
It's win-win. It is a way to show that there's no daylight between Ukraine and U.S. as President Trump presses to end this horrible war.
Fox's Doug Luzader reports.
This is the agreement that at one point ran off the rails after that big Oval Office blow-up with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It got back on track, and while it may be a long way off from the peace deal that President Trump is ultimately hoping for there, it may help lay the groundwork.
No, a Russian drone strike hit Odessa today, killing 2 people, injuring 15. Russia claims a Ukrainian drone strike killed at least 7 people. That U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal comes as the Trump administration keeps working on trade deals with numerous countries. The president told News Nation,
"We're going to make great deals for America instead of bad. And if I didn't take this hard line, India, as an example, had no interest in negotiating with anybody."
Now, President Trump insists his trade and tariff policies will lead to an economic boom after the slight economic contraction instead of growth in the first quarter of this year. The Democrat President Trump beat in November. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke out last night in San Francisco.
Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals.
A man's in critical condition in Pittsburgh the morning after falling from the crowd at a Pirates game onto the field. A 21-foot drop from the right field bleachers. It delayed the game for about 10 minutes. Players knelt on the field while medical crews responded to him. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day, and it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Republicans in Congress keep working on a massive budget bill to fund President Trump's agenda, including extending the 2017 tax cuts from his first term. Now, Democrats do not have the votes to block this bill, but they do warn of cutbacks in Medicaid and other key programs.
Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham says he's committed to finding $1.5 to $2 trillion in spending cuts as part of Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill.
I think the only way you're going to do that is be able to go into the programs that are being abused and fix them.
Republicans are eyeing additional work requirements for able-bodied people on Medicaid, which they believe could save the government hundreds of billions of dollars. While work requirements have unity among the party, some are threatening to vote against any budget resolution that cuts essential services. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
On Wall Street, big gains are brewing. Dow and NASDAQ futures are both up more than 300 points after a mixed day. The Dow gained 141 points. The NASDAQ went down a little after the report of an economic slowdown. In the NBA playoffs,
Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers are out. The Timberwolves won in Los Angeles last night, 103-96, to eliminate the Lakers in 5 games. A series Los Angeles had been favored to win as the number 3 seed, but the 6th seed in the West advanced. Thanks to Rudy Gobert last night, Minnesota's big man had career playoff highs of 27 points and 24 rebounds. T-Wolves into the second round and await the winner of the Rockets-Warriors series. Houston fought off elimination last night, beat Golden State in Game 5, 131-116.
That's Fox's Jared Max. In hockey's playoffs, the defending NHL Stanley Cup champions advanced. The Florida Panthers beat Tampa Bay 6-3, eliminating the Lightning in 5 games. The Capitals also move on.
And another empty net goal.
Washington beat Montreal 4-1 on ESPN to win that series in 5 games. Winnipeg topped St. Louis 5-3 to take a 3-2 lead. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. Currently 39 degrees, but there will be a warm up to around 70 degrees. Cloudy right now. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. Onondaga County District Attorney William Fitzpatrick says 11 West Hill High School students accused of hazing have all surrendered. The students are members of the school's boys lacrosse team and allegedly staged the kidnapping of at least one teammate last week. They were given 48 hours to turn themselves in, and in exchange, they'd only be ticketed for unlawful imprisonment and wouldn't be charged as adults. They'll also be tried in the family court system and won't have criminal records. Attorney General Letitia James has released the body camera footage depicting the in-custody death of a Barneveld man. Matthew Brown became unresponsive during an arrest by New York State Police on March 24th. The camera shows officers struggling to comprehend a confused Brown, who kept approaching the officers despite being told to keep his distance. Officers struggled to detain Brown for a mental health evaluation and forced him to the ground and handcuffed him. He continued to struggle as police instructed him to breathe, and he lost consciousness before the ambulance arrived. Brown was pronounced dead at the hospital. A Utica man that faces attempted murder and arson charges has rejected a plea deal. Pablo Goico stands accused of a November crime spree where he shot multiple people and set a porch on fire on Grant Street. Goico is accused of dressing in a Halloween costume and shooting an employee of Purple Haze Smoke Shop on November 8th and shooting 2 individuals on Whitesboro Street on November 12th after using tracking devices to find them. Goico was offered a plea deal, of which he rejected, and he will take his case to trial in court at a later date. And the president of Harvard University is vowing to make changes after internal reports found evidence of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism on campus. Harvard President Alan Garber said the reports released Tuesday reveal aspects of a charged period in our recent history. One report found Jewish students being harassed. Another found Muslim students afraid to express their political beliefs. President Trump recently froze billions in federal funding to Harvard for refusing to address anti-Semitism. Garber has argued that most of Trump's demands were, quote, direct governmental regulation of the intellectual conditions at Harvard. Currently, your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your full WIBX Weather Center forecast.
Mild weather continues to surge back in after a chilly morning today. We're going to be into the 70s by tomorrow, but showers and thunderstorms are going to return. Their cold start, sun later up near 70 degrees. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, mid-50s. Friday, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high near 75 degrees. Maybe some stronger storms late in the day and at night. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently 39 degrees and cloudy outside, but that warm-up is coming. Let's take a look at sports. The NBA postseason rolls on. The Timberwolves locked up their spot in the Western Conference semifinals with a 103-96 victory over the Lakers in Game 5 in LA. Elsewhere, the Rockets avoided elimination with a 131-116 Game 5 win over the Warriors in Houston. The action continues Thursday with a pair of Game 6 matchups. The Pistons playing host the Knicks in the East, the Nuggets paying a visit to the Clippers out west. Another NFL rookie says he received a prank call during the NFL draft. Giants pass rusher Abdul Carter received a call when the Jaguars were on the clock after acquiring the second overall pick from the Browns. The caller said he was from the Jaguars and would be selecting Carter second overall. Other players who received prank calls include the Browns' Shadur Sanders and Mason Graham, the Colts' Tyler Warren, the Eagles' Kyle McCord, and the Bills' Chase Lund. One of the Jets' young signal callers is calling it a career. Backup quarterback Jordan Travis announced Wednesday that he is retiring from football. Travis suffered a gruesome leg injury while playing for Florida State in 2023. New York selected Travis in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, but his surgically repaired leg never fully recovered. He finished 5th in the Heisman Trophy voting after leading the Seminoles to an 11-0 record. 2 more teams advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs after the Capitals eliminated the Canadiens and the Panthers knocked out the Lightning in 5 games. Elsewhere, the Jets took a 3-2 lead in their best-of-7 first-round series against the Blues, following a victory in Game 5. 4 Game 6s are on tap for Thursday. The Senators hope to stay alive when they host the Maple Leafs. The Golden Knights look to advance when they visit the Wild. The Avalanche are on the brink of elimination when they host the Stars, and the Oilers hope to close things out when they host the Kings. The Yankees came up short in their rubber match against the Orioles after falling 5-4 in the finale in Baltimore. Aaron Judge went deep with a 2-run bomb. He now has 10 home runs this season. New York still leads the AL East. They host the Rays for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. And the Mets were unable to extend their winning streak after falling to the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-3 in Queens. New York also leads the NL East and will wrap up its 3-game series this afternoon. 39 degrees and cloudy outside. It is 7:10. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Coming up, we'll talk about Mohawk Valley Gives, and it's a perfect day to do that as we have Tim Reed here in studio with Real Men Get Tested for Cancer. It's important. Yes. For the last how many years we have missed this, right?
Well, we're proud. We're proud of our consistency.
We're consistently missers. So they're going to walk us through it, and any other organization out there that is looking to get involved in this day of giving to raise money for their cause. You'll learn all about that coming up. Also, $250, Davey. Obaika's free money question of the day. is on. We'll get to that at about 7:35. And then former lieutenant with the Utica Police Department, Steve Hauk, is in, and he's been out west on duty, and we'll explain what he has been doing, and he can tell you firsthand what he's seen out there with the California wildfires and all of that happening out to the west. Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle is a tremendous value. I'm speaking the words of Ricky Z. And while we can all focus on creating the ultimate customer experience, nobody does it better than Rick and everybody over at Steve Ponte Mazda. They select the best late model Mazdas for their Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles, offering them with a 160-point inspection. Or they could just do an inspection, but I believe the injection is inspected.
Fuel injection.
I believe that's inspected. And the balance of their 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you go to Steve Ponte Mazda, just drive through the lot. You'll see some really awesome vehicles to choose from. And if you need a lower payment, simply say, Rick, let's make a deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle. From the dealership that achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, it is Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Quick break. It is odd that when Megan was in doing, because I do get every once in a while, I don't know if you realize this, some people complain about things, and I keep hearing, why aren't you putting Megan on camera? And it is the weirdest thing. But Davey, can you come in here? I want to see if I'm not sure she's real. I think she might be a ghost because she was sitting there in front of the camera and it was showing an empty chair. Davey, sit down. Okay, you're invisible also. I don't know, this camera is like stuck on an old shot with nobody there. It's the weirdest thing, so it doesn't work.
It and
good luck with that. Everything's hardwired. I can't find where to unplug anything. It's craziness. Okay, and then a couple of, there's nothing there, Davey.
Yeah. Beetlejuice.
There's nothing there. A couple of comments. Thanks, Kathy Hochul. This is John in New Hartford. Thanks, Kathy Hochul, for the $150 inflation refund check. I am going to donate it to the Elise Stefanik for Governor campaign. All right, I like that. Deeds in New Hartford. Bill, I know you're friends with the legislature, and I commend you for reporting on it. Not easy, I'm sure. Not fun, I'm sure, but you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That is a tough situation when you're reading. It is, and I've talked about this too. I was talking to a class a while back, college class, and one of the hardest things is when you're reading a news story and all of a sudden you know the people involved in the news story.
Yep.
And it's tough to do, but if you are going to skip that news story because that's a big mistake.
Right.
Not an easy thing to do, I get it. However, it's really easy to read stories about other people when you don't know them.
You don't know or
like
don't like.
We just read the stuff like it doesn't matter anything to us. But when it does, it is hard. Does the legislature, this is John in Deerfield, does the legislature just not have the votes to override a governor's veto? Why not just push a budget through and force the governor to veto it and then override the veto in the legislature as a legislator or in the legislature, even though it's written differently there? The answer to that is you have a Democratic majority.
Right.
These are Democrats arguing with Democrats right now.
Yep.
The Republicans are really kind of sitting on the sideline, and certainly someone like Joe Griffo, who has years. I mean, he has some seniority. He can play a role, but for the most part, Republicans really can't do anything.
Right.
So
it's kind of it's probably not a good analogy, but it's kind of like, to a certain extent, what's happening at the federal level, where probably the Republicans are all voting in lockstep one way. The Democrats are probably torn a bit in regards to some are very far off to the edge.
Yes.
Some are kind of
and I think you have exactly that scenario.
So they probably could never get themselves to the point where whatever they would try to force down Hochul's throat would ever even happen.
Correct. And they can't agree to get it done.
Exactly. They can't agree amongst themselves. How are they going to agree to...
Right, to send it to the governor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you take a look at Marianne Buttinshaw. She is not a far-left liberal Democrat.
Nope.
In fact, I would almost call her a conservative Democrat.
Right.
So there's where I think in a lot of this really is the upstate Democrats versus the downstate Democrats.
Yes.
And I think that is more in line with what they're dealing with. There you go. And then Lance and Lee, where are you? I don't see Lance on here. Lance is probably just angry that Manaski's not here every day to read his messages. I'm sorry, Lance. I'm really, really sorry. Coming up, how do you give to Mohawk Valley Gives? MV Gives. We're a little early for that, but it is not too early to get involved in being one of the charities that can be given to, if that makes sense. We'll get into that coming up. And Hobica's free money question just around the corner at WIBX.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Jake Cannell with Blues here of the Blues Brothers of Central New York, here at the Rome Capitol Theater, preparing for the CNY Onstage Live event.
And this event is going to be bigger than ever.
It's showtime for 18 incredible acts on Saturday, May 10th at 7. Magicians, comedians, musicians, and Showtime the Band with special guests. CNY On Stage Live at the Capitol Theater, Saturday, May 10th at 7. Tickets on sale now.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Stop putting off registering for the 2025 Boilermaker Road Race because it's almost sold out. People are sprinting to Boilermaker.com to grab their racing bibs before they're gone. Reserve your spot at the starting line now and punch your ticket to the world's best post-race party, where there will be live music, drinks, food, and plenty of surprises. This year's Boilermaker will be bigger and better than ever, but the window to sign up is closing. So run, don't walk, to Boilermaker.com and sign up for one of America's most famous races. See you at the starting line, July 13th.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And we are on YouTube, but it doesn't really matter where you sit because apparently
you are ghosts.
We have a frozen camera that doesn't pick up anything. So, in studio right now is Kayla Ellis, the Director of Marketing and Communications, and Kristen Smith, Fund and Systems Strategist with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties. And we're coming up. I will say, get really tight on the microphone. Get right up to that thing. And don't worry, no one here has any germs, so you're going to be just fine. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. And if you could, let's just start out by explaining to everybody what MV Gives is. Whoever wants to take that.
You got it. I'll take it.
All right.
So Mohawk Valley Gives, we are in our 4th year this year. This is our community's largest day of giving. So it happens every September. Last year we had over 300 nonprofits that participated locally. So throughout Oneida, Herkimer, and Otsego counties.
Yeah.
And then we also we raised over $5 million last year
really, really
through
good.
Mohawk Valley Gives.
Yeah.
So we've got our work cut out for us this year.
Because you want to beat that.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's anyone. What are the qualifications? And I'll start with you, Heather.
Sure.
So how do you get in?
Any 501c3 in good standing with the IRS, of course, can actually go online starting today, which is why May 1st is
Don't
so
look at me,
important.
Tim, I mean,
yeah. Why does
today could be the day?
It could be the day.
Could be the day. So they can go online to givemv.org, and from today all the way through the month of May, they can register their nonprofit to participate or re-register if they've participated in the past.
So what I find is it's really easy, but you do not have to be a community foundation. What do you call it? So we're Real Men Get Tested for Cancer.
Right. Yes.
Fund holders.
What are we?
You're a fund holder.
We're a fund holder.
Yep.
Yes.
So we don't have to do all of this. Is the beauty of community foundation.
Yep.
Is we don't have to do any of the legal stuff, any of the when you see in good standing with the IRS. I say to you, I hope we are.
Yeah, Bill being in good standing with the IRS feels like it's an oxymoron, but no, it's true.
Let's not talk.
No,
about
it's
that.
true. It's true. It's true. You don't have to be a computer programmer, to be on the platform for the Giving Day and to set up your organization. You don't have to be a legal guru. It's very user friendly.
I think the point I wanted to make is that you do not need to be like us, a fund that is associated with the community foundation.
Exactly.
You can be any 501c3. Because technically, we're a 501c3 through the community foundation.
Yep.
So, but I would say it's probably, this is what I was told. Was it you that told me? Somebody told me recently that I saw out at a restaurant. It's easier for you, us, me and Tim, because we're a fund that's already associated with you.
Because the donations from the Giving Day can funnel right into your fund, which makes it, it's, seamless.
Unless we don't sign up.
Exactly. That's the key. So
and it's all my fault, Tim. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's not have more fault.
That's right. So I'm today. One of the two of us are going to go on and we're going to sign up for this.
It's very simple. Very simple. The registration survey is, I think, like 20 questions long, and they're very, basic information: who's managing your campaign, your EIN number, your mission statement, that type of thing. And registration is going to be open throughout the entire month of May. So today through the 31st.
And we don't have any of those numbers. Do we have an EIN number?
You won't have to worry about that.
Okay,
because
good.
We're under them.
Because
we're under their
them.
wing.
Yes.
I
got
love
it.
Yes.
So this is going to be really, really simple for us.
Yes. Very simple.
We can screw it up. Don't worry.
And now I'm going to go off some of you. You've given me some questions, and I'm never good with that, but I appreciate it tremendously. So we've answered what is Mohawk Valley Gives and who puts it on.
The Community Foundation and Up Mobility Foundation is also our partner co-host.
Yes. And I really feel that it's like a holding your own garage sale or the world's largest yard sale. So the world's largest yard sale, which we do here, you stick with me because
I don't know where we're going. We're going fast.
I'm coming full circle on this one. So you're having, if you have one garage sale, it's tough to get people to come to your place. But when there are 100 or 200 sales all in one place on the same day,
I see.
It's such a great way to put it.
It's
Absolutely. I love that.
Everybody's there in this quote community.
Yeah.
So that's really what this is, and it makes it so
totally.
That's why to see $5 million given in a single fund. So MV Gives is the fund, but $5 million is a big number for this area.
It is. Yeah. It's amazing. And for a donor to get to that platform and give later in September, you could love,
different types of organizations, and you might want to donate to people that are focused on animals, but you also might want to have a focus on, food insecurity. You can do it all in one transaction, one platform. It's fantastic.
And it's almost like going online and selecting
shopping.
tax deductions.
Very good. Yes.
Very important.
Good point.
It's also a tax deduction.
Well, and playing off, our garage is very small as opposed to other organizations, and I think it gives us an opportunity, the little guys, to get that
visibility.
Voice out there.
Exactly.
I saw the amount that a lot of the big guys got a lot of money, and God bless them or whatever. But there were some organizations I had never heard of, and it was interesting to me, or whatever it is, to kind of learn their stories and things like that. It's some very unique.
Yeah.
So.
Why is this is one of your questions? Why is May 1st important?
Well, May 1st is today, and it's nonprofit registration opening. So it's a big day for us. This is kind of like the kickoff, I would say, to Mohawk Valley Gives in our community. Once May rolls around, it's just rolls throughout the whole summer
Yeah.
We sit
into
in the office
September.
today, and we're like, oh, look, another one registered. Oh, another one registered.
That's cool.
We get excited.
And then there'll be things that'll be going on, activities and all that stuff as we make our way to the fall, right?
Correct. Yes. Once registration is closed at the end of the month, then we will start to send out some communications inviting all of those nonprofits to attend different types of trainings, networking events. We have Mohawk Valley Gives University coming back for the second year, and that's on July 30th. At MVCC, so people will get an opportunity to come network, work together, and get rolling.
And anything else that you want to have added to this
Well, I
great
really
event?
think we'd love to do, first, a plug. Our business community in the Mohawk Valley has been just so supportive and awesome. And, two of our sponsors that we can't say enough about, the Staffworks organization and M&T Bank, and
They've
then
been with us for all
from
4
the
years.
beginning, and there's so many other businesses that are helping to support, and businesses can give support through sponsorship. They can donate, obviously, on the day of. They can hold fundraisers, among their employees for one of the organizations.
You keep talking. I'll be right back.
Sure. Lots of great ways for businesses to get in.
To get engaged. Yeah. I think we get that question a lot from businesses is, well, how can I get involved? And it's not just sponsorship. There are many different ways that, businesses can kind of fold into MV Gives and bring their employees along for the ride and just make this a true community-wide event.
All right. And then one last question that I have is for someone like, for a group like ours, our mission is very simple. It's simply to advertise the message of especially guys, but really anyone, men and women, but to advertise the fact that it's so easy to get tested, and it's important because early detection really does save lives and it saved both of our lives. So that's our mission, and it's just the two of us. There are no managing fees. There's actually there's no structure, Tim.
We are
zero.
We're an amoeba. We have
no structure.
So all we're trying to do is something positive, and by going to the community foundation, that has just made this. We would not be able to do this if we had to do all of the other stuff.
No doubt.
Well, thank you. And we're happy to be doing it with you.
So I just wanted you, if you could, talk about how, if there's someone, because it is important to be an official charity.
Yes.
Because this allows someone who gives to us to have a tax donation. If you're just doing a little fundraiser on the side, that donation is not tax deductible. Here, because we're registered with the Community Foundation, it is. So just close, if you could, by explaining how easy it is to become one of us, just like us. If you don't know the answer.
No, I mean, anyone can create a fund at the foundation, whether it's, organizations like you who are looking to become, a 501c3, or donors who are just
looking to
give back to the community. Yeah. And we're your greatest resource, I think, for that.
Because it's an awesome service.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It is.
Is it duplicated around the country? I mean, is it something?
It is
okay.
Actually, yes. Here in New York State, there are several community foundations that service different counties and areas, and across the country.
Yeah,
You've
all right.
Hundreds. So.
All right, so go to the website.
Yes, givemv.org. Get registered.
today.
Mark your calendar in
All right.
September.
Yes, I don't think we said the date. September 19th, Friday.
Okay.
Yes, that's the
And
giving day.
I do want to tell you the reason why we, at least me, did not sign up, because I thought it was a big mountain with paperwork and all this stuff, and a tough, high climbing mountain. I don't like climbing mountains.
I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
hear
no
ya.
mountain. Yep.
But it isn't like that. It's
No,
easy.
not at all. Very easy.
Okay. All right.
By
We're
the
gonna
way,
do it
thank you
today.
so much for what you guys did for the Children's Museum. I was at the ribbon cutting this week.
Oh,
thank you.
wonderful.
It was great.
That's great.
Great.
They
Awesome.
opened today as well. With
Yes.
Open
Yes.
today.
Awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
Great job,
Comes
guys.
full
Big day for our
Thank
community.
you so much.
Thank you very much. And a reminder, and we'll be reminding oftentimes here on the radio, Real Men Get Tested is going to be a great organization to give to.
Absolutely.
When you give.
Yep.
Because it's.
They actually added some credibility to it.
They have. And that ain't easy.
I know.
Let's do a Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. On the line right now is Saheed Karsik with the United County Sheriff's Department. Saheed, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on. Who is this week's Wanted Person of the Week?
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for having me on. This week we have a female by the name of Nicole Bornstein. She's a white female, 35 years of age. She's 5'2". She weighs approximately 130 pounds. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. And she currently has a bench warrant out of Oneida County Drug Court for the charge of burglary in the 3rd degree.
Okay, and if you could just explain how this works. You can. We'll have the full story up on our website. If you have seen the person or if you have any information, a lot of times, Saheed, people are a little nervous about putting their name out there, and with Crime Stoppers, you don't have to do that.
Right, yes. With Crime Stoppers, it's 100% anonymous. There's no names attached. There's no numbers attached. It's something you send through Crime Stoppers, and it'll come to law enforcement, and we'll work on that information.
And also, it shows in the picture there is a neck tattoo, right on this person that might be something that people will recognize.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll have that up on our website at WIBX950.com. All the details on how you can report to Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, and both Tim and I are on the board of Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. So
Great organization.
Yep. Okay, Saheed, thank you so much as always.
Thank you, Bill.
Have a great day. Saheed Karsik with the United County Sheriff's Department. We're going to do Habaika's free money question coming up. Megan has an update on the news first, though, on WIBX. We'll do that next.
Now through May 31st, get up to $140 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $70 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or bridgestonerewards.com for details.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. Onondaga County District Attorney William Fitzpatrick says 11 West Hill High School students accused of hazing have all surrendered. The students are members of the school's boys lacrosse team and allegedly staged the kidnapping of at least one teammate last week. They were given 48 hours to turn themselves in, and in exchange, they would only be ticketed for unlawful imprisonment and wouldn't be charged as adults. They'll also be tried in the family court system and won't have criminal records. 5 former Oneida County Corrections officers had their day in court yesterday over the death of inmate Robert Brooks. The ex-officers are among a group of 10 people accused of being involved in the beating death that took place last December. The 5 considered plea offers but did not reach a decision because they were reviewing new discovery information of evidence that couldn't be accessed by the defendants or their legal teams. 2 corrections officers are charged with murder, while 3 are charged with manslaughter. All 5 are due back in court in mid-May, so they have more time to consider their options. Hudson Valley Congressman Pat Ryan's legislation to bring down prices and create good-paying jobs is moving forward. It comes after the U.S. House of Representatives approved the Promoting Resilient Supply Chains Act, which Ryan introduced with his fellow West Point classmate Congressman John James. Ryan says the legislation is a win-win that increases public-private partnerships and strengthens supply chains to bring back jobs to communities across New York. The goal is to bring down everyday costs from pharmaceuticals to groceries. And the U.S. economy contracted slightly in the first quarter of 2025. GDP, the sum of the value of goods and services produced, fell 0.3% over last year. Economists expected growth, but outlooks were revised to negative due to reactions to President Trump's tariffs. Imports, which lowered GDP, grew more than 40% as companies rushed to get products on shore before the tariffs took effect. On the job market, some 62,000 jobs were added last month, according to payroll processor ADP. That's well below the 125,000 analysts had forecast in a report that comes just ahead of today's monthly jobs report from the Labor Department. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Mild weather continues to surge back in after a chilly morning today. We're going to be into the 70s by tomorrow, but showers and thunderstorms are going to return. Their cold start, sun later up near 70 degrees. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, mid-50s. Friday, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high near 75 degrees. Maybe some stronger storms late in the day and at night. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stijik, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, right now we're looking at clouds and 42 degrees at WIBX. All right, it's time for the Hobica Law Firm's free money question of the day. And, Davey, this morning we're looking for caller number
6, Bill.
6 at 315-736-0186. Caller number 6. And you can dial it up right now. It's worth $250. 315-736-0186. Right now at WIBX.
People with diabetes or prediabetes measure blood sugar to make informed decisions about diet and medications. Continuous glucose monitoring devices, or CGMs, measure blood sugar through a wearable skin sensor that transmits data to an app, insulin pump, or receiver. Continuous monitoring? No finger stick required. Kinney pharmacies accept most insurance for CGMs, and big news, now Medicare Part B too. If you have a prescription for a CGM, talk to your Kinney pharmacist or visit KinneyDrugs.com.
Jake Cannell with Blues here of the Blues Brothers of Central New York, here at the Rome Capitol Theater, preparing for the CNY Onstage Live event.
And this event is going to be bigger than ever.
It's showtime for 18 incredible acts on Saturday, May 10th at 7. Magicians, comedians, musicians, and Showtime the Band with special guests. CNY Onstage Live at the Capitol Theater, Saturday, May 10th at 7. Tickets on sale now.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Attention vendors, crafters, and collectors. Looking for a perfect place to sell your goods and reach thousands of eager shoppers? It's the world's largest yard sale happening again this year at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 14th. It's the ultimate selling opportunity. No more setting up signs, hoping for traffic, or dealing with no-shows. At the world's largest yard sale, thousands of shoppers come ready to buy. Whether you sell antiques, collectibles, handmade crafts, vintage clothing, or secondhand treasures, this is the place to be. But hurry, booth spaces are filling up fast. Secure yours today and get ready to turn your inventory into instant cash. It's the world's largest yard sale at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 14th, featuring the jazz sounds of the Dovetones. For vendor info and booth reservations, visit the events page on this station's website. Don't wait, this event is too big to miss. Sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, John's Mobile Homes and Accessories, Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, and James Mitsubishi.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Righty, it's time for Hobica's free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. And for your legal needs, call the Hobica Law Firm. 315-724-1600 is the telephone number. And Steve is on in Rome. Good morning, Steve. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well here. How are you doing this morning?
Good. You're ready to take a shot here.
Absolutely. Got my daughter here, Catherine. We listen to you every morning. We're excited. And in fact, we were in with the Scouts last Monday to tour the studio. So yeah, this is quite exciting for us.
That's really cool. And I missed you guys. I forgot why, but I missed you last week. All right. Here we go. This is I think your daughter may be able to help you on this. Recently, a popular magazine listed the most popular movie dogs, and number one was Lassie. The question for you is, what's the number 2 dog in movies according to Rolling Stone? Ready, go.
In movies, Benji or
Benji.
I would have gone with Benji, and I don't even know this dog. Maybe your daughter does, Steve. The answer is Buddy from Air Buds.
Yeah.
Airbud. Yeah, that's number 2. And the one that I would have thought would be number 1. Can you think of one that's missing? A movie dog? Snoopy.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoopy.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes,
Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
What about
Rin Tin Tin?
I'll get your little dog and your little dog too.
Toto.
Yeah, Toto. Yeah.
Old Yeller might have been one.
Old Yeller. Yeah.
I like
those
the end
are
of
all.
that story.
So number 1 was Lassie. Number 2, Buddy from Air Buds. Number 3 was Toto from Wizard of Oz. So. Well, listen, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. And there's dinner. There's even the gift shop at the Odd or the Nexus Center, okay?
All righty.
All right. What's your daughter's first name?
Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. You have a great day at school today, all right?
Thanks.
All right. Stand by. Davey's going to take care of you guys. Yeah. I would think Toto would be number 1.
It's impressive that she knew Benji. She sounded younger.
She knew Benji, yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, today you can see all of that stuff, right? I mean, it used to be you'd wait up at Christmas time. You'd be waiting because Rudolph was on. And now the kids have seen it like 22 times before you even get to the point that CBS airs it. In studio right now is Steve Houck. Good morning, Steve, and welcome home.
Morning. Thank you. It's good to be home.
So just give us your timeline. You've been away for quite some time.
Yeah, so October 1st, I left to go to North Carolina for Hurricane Helene, which hit the end of September. and I spent the better part of 4 months there. I was supposed to come home. I was home for 5 days, and I turned around and went to L.A. for the wildfires. So I've been out there, and I just got home Tuesday morning from that.
So what was your role at the in California?
So it was the same for both. So as you know, I travel and teach emergency management, but I also actually do emergency management. I've been doing it for a long time. So I was assisting with LA County's emergency management doing public information.
Okay. All right. So you do what you do.
Correct.
Yeah. How this was really it's horrible what happened out there in California. And you were talking about a story of Black Americans who moved into this area of California, and explain. You'll be able to tell.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So there's an area that was hit by the Eaton. There's basically two fires in California. You had the fire that was in the Palisades, which is a very exclusive, very high-end part of California, and then you have Altadena, which the Eaton fire hit. And Altadena is interesting. I didn't know the history of it, but I learned it when I was there. It was the only place that Black people could buy a home in that part of California. So many folks, correct. So many folks settled there and have lived there for many years, and that.
And if when you look at it, it's because they were showing photos of what it was before. We saw that all over the news. It was really nice. There were some really
beautiful.
Nice, beautiful homes. But here becomes the problem.
That's the big problem. Is many of those folks, their homes, which had drastically increased in value, of course, over the years.
Yeah.
They're to the north. They have the Angeles Forest, so it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous area. So, but they're landlocked. There's no building out from there. It's as many homes as you can get in there. So what's happened now is most of their wealth was tied up in their homes. So now their homes get wiped out, and the land itself is worth over $1 million for most of them. In fact, I was there looking the other day, and there was
just
a house.
The land.
It was like 8,000 square feet. Which is not a big lot for land.
Yeah.
Here, but there it's fairly large size. It's worth $1 million. So they've got a choice they have to make: is either they rebuild with maybe the money they don't have to put a house back, or they just sell the land. And there's been some concerns about gentrification, and which has slowly happened over the years. It's not just all Black Americans that live there. There are other people that live there, but primarily that was an area that they called their own. So now there's a challenge, and that's a big push out there. Is they want to keep Altadena. Altadena is what they say.
Yeah.
So.
And how do you when you can't afford to literally build what you had? It leaves you in a really tough position.
Yeah, and of course, builders, the not to let a good opportunity slip away, have tried to come in and buy lot after lot after lot, and these people are looking. You gotta realize. I was talking to somebody the other day that was staying in my hotel that lost their home. He was 72, his wife was 75, and you say, okay, well, if you've got a 5-year timeline to rebuild, and you're in your early 70s or mid 70s. Do you just say, you know what, I'm just going to take the money and go live somewhere?
I want to ask you your take on First of all, it's amazing that you're back now. And this story started when? When did the fires first break out?
So it would have been January.
Yeah, it's been a while.
January 28th or something like that.
So, and they were horrific.
Yeah.
Terrible. But I think the response was there's a lot of criticism over the response. And do you think? Who do you think who did well? Who did not do well?
Well, I don't think you can look at the wildfires out there, and you have to start before. You have to look at the land management, which is a big problem in California, and it has been for many years. They haven't done a good enough job to knock down all the fuels that cause these wildfires to begin.
And that's a process. It is and you have to keep up on it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you run into a situation like this that once the fire happens, it's just the land is just littered with debris that is combustible.
It's all fuel.
It's
all fuel.
And you add the winds, which were really very, very high winds up over 50 miles an hour. And that just is the perfect recipe.
Yeah, they were hurricane force winds on top of the fire, and I've seen many videos that you haven't seen on TV.
Yeah,
and they're unbelievable. It's just and it's so much ignition there, and you got to remember. So I was in California for better part of 3.5 months, and it rained one day.
Yeah,
and it rained for maybe what we would consider a sprinkle. They were all like, "Whoa, it's raining." I'm like, "Well, this is not really rain." So it's incredibly dry there. They just don't get rain. So that's a bad combination.
Like our area.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing here. It's a bad combination,
it's sunny
especially on the
15
weekends.
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's rained every Saturday for the last. Well, it's rained every Saturday since before it was snowing every Saturday.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's been one of those years for us. So, but it is terrible. And then you see the fires that happened on the East Coast over the course in New Jersey.
Yep.
That was crazy. So this really does start from. It starts long before, and it starts from managing that property.
Right, because then you have to, instead of going and attacking the fire, now you have to go into, okay, what can we save? What can we prevent it from hitting? So the fire will burn. What was unique there was, as a traditional forest fire, it was in large populated areas.
Right.
So like differences like Jersey, for instance, it didn't impact a lot of homes and residences because of where it was. But this
was like neighborhoods.
Wiped out. I mean, I drove through some of these areas and Malibu, we just saw these. I drove down there and you look and it's just $20 million home after $20 million home.
Yeah.
There's nothing left but the fireplaces.
And I do have to say that it was a little disheartening to listen to people react to you. So you have some Hollywood person who's very wealthy. They have this multi-million-dollar home. And people are like, oh, give me a break. What are they bothered by? I mean, they can afford to rebuild.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny how we look at people who are wealthy. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. When you're the victim of a fire, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You think about your memories in your home more than really the home itself.
Right.
The memories that you build there and the pictures. And I talked to so many people that, all they cared about was I lost my photos. I lost, the things that meant something to them, the jewelry, stuff like that.
And a lot of those people, those homes were passed by generation to generation because you get that property and you want to hold on to it.
Yeah. And the other huge part of that story is the insurance. Yeah. Because a lot of these insurance companies pulled out a couple of months beforehand, and we could take a whole show talking about that. And I'm certainly not an expert, but California mismanaged that. Why
did they pull out? They pulled out because they anticipated the fires.
So California has a insurance commission. So in order to increase insurance rates across the board, you have to get approval from this commission to do so. The guy who's in charge of the commission has gotten tons of criticism because he's basically been MIA. So they were denying these companies to raise their insurance rates. And basically they said, if you don't let us do this, we're going to have to pull out. Yeah. They wouldn't let them do it, so they started pulling out.
Wow.
And then
just coincidence that they're pulling out and then the fires happen.
Right. And California has this, what they call a FAIR plan, FAIR, which is essentially state insurance for your home, but it's, as you can imagine, it's inadequate. So you have these people that might have $1 million loss, $2 million loss, and they're getting checks for $300,000-$400,000.
Was it a fair criticism that budget cuts were made to the fire department and that contributed?
It's tough to say. That was LAPD, and I was working for the county, but it was a huge story there. And I worked with somebody who knew the fire chief very well, and I think it was the understanding from most people that she was doing a very good job there. And the politics, the mayor there has got major political issues that she's facing, and I don't know. Personally, I think it might be tough for her to withstand it. There's so much going on there.
Yeah.
And in LA County, just on a side note, LA County just settled a sexual assault claim. They allowed people to sue like New York did a while ago to bring old claims back. Except where New York went back 20 years, California said no time limit. So they're paying off claims from the 50s. They just paid a $4 billion settlement.
Not realizing you're going to be dealing with this.
Right, $4 billion for one county.
Wow.
So you can imagine the impact financially on that. So
wow. Well, you saw it firsthand.
I did.
That has to be surreal.
it's different when you see these disasters and you see them on TV and then you see them in person. And it was funny because one of the things, discussions I had with some of the people that were there when the fire hit was they came out and they didn't know what street they were on. In a neighborhood they grew up in and spent their whole life there, they couldn't tell where they were because the signs are gone and the houses are gone.
Wow.
You know, one of the things that I had heard too was what made this fire so dangerous was, you know, there was really only one way egress out of from these fireplaces because there's just one road coming through. So many people, cars were just left or whatever, is just to get the hell out of there.
Right, and if you've ever spent any time in LA traffic, and I've had my fill of it, nothing moves fast.
Yeah,
you know,
except fires.
A 5 mile trip can take you an hour. So and you can imagine when everybody's leaving at the same exact time, and visibility's poor, and there's no light, and it was just
awful to watch these people with like garden hoses standing on their roofs trying to protect their homes, and you see this giant wall of fire behind them. Terrible.
And it's beautiful, like when you come down through Malibu and Calabasas and you come down into that bowl, as they call it down there, and it's just, you see the ocean and beautiful mountains. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, but it's a trap. There's, like you said, there's one way in and one way out.
All right, Steve Houck, thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you don't have to do it around here.
Yes.
That would mean...
No, for sure. For sure.
I mean,
had my fill in Rome last year. That was good. That was enough.
And then they get hit with a pretty good storm this week.
Yeah.
I mean, that Christmas tree, which was planted in 1981, was uprooted. And, we saw Ann in Rome, who sent us a photo. The exact very place where her fence was destroyed during the tornado, this latest storm knocked the fence down again and blew it to pieces. So.
And I could tell you, as you know, I'm all over the place on these disasters. And I could tell you I was in Rome for that. The local, Rome... between the mayor, the police chief, the fire chief, Tony Pacenti, could not have managed it better. And given the fact that they don't have incidents like that, I told them this personally, they managed that so well. It really was. I was very impressed and very proud of the fact that they did such a great job, considering I see it done good and bad all over the country. So they did an amazing job.
All right, great stuff. Thank you for the update. So,
pleasure.
Okay, a couple things. A Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is now accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients as we speak. You simply make a phone call. Maybe your doctor is retired. Maybe you're just not happy where you are and you want something different. Maybe you need a second opinion, and there's no one better for that than Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemileski at the Falcon Clinic. Call them today at 315-507-4751, or you can visit them online at their website. It is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. With Dr. Zielinski, I get an adjustment that lasts about 35 minutes, and it's everything from your sinuses to your neck and your back, and it's gentle but firm. I don't know how else to describe it, but the pain goes away when you leave. It's pretty awesome. It's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And I think I can do one more. It's time for shifting gears and shifting. Nope, I can't do this one because it's outdated. I need a new copy for this. It ended yesterday, the big deal. No, I'm okay. I'm all right. All right. Coming up next hour, we'll speak with Todd Hood, the sheriff in Madison County, on the discovery laws and mental health changes as part of the upcoming budget, all of that. And also cybersecurity is a big topic going on right now. And a bunch of other stuff. Plus, your comments, we'll take your phone calls. All of that coming up after in the 8 o'clock hour on WIBX.
Now through May 31st, get up to $160 back by mail on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get up to an additional $80 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or firestonerewards.com for details.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's been months in the making. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. and Ukraine have signed a deal allowing for American access to Ukraine's lucrative rare earth minerals, a U.S. investment that also recoups some of the cost of all the military aid sent to Ukraine. President Trump tells News Nation that he told Ukraine's President Zelensky when they met in Rome Saturday.
It's a very good thing if we can produce a deal that you sign it, because Russia is much bigger and much stronger. Russia is just chugging forward.
Now, the president's also still working on trade deals with numerous countries he paused tariffs on amid an economic shrinkage instead of growth.
The White House is going to great lengths to defend its trade policy. Among the latest news that the GDP shrank in the first quarter ever so slightly. President himself defending his trade policies, and many are asking how long these sweeping tariffs may last.
Fox's Mark Meredith.
The White House says its goal is clear-cut to bring more investment into the country, including from companies based in the U.S. It's put out a list of companies pledging to invest more in U.S. operations, from Apple to IBM.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris says what's going on is
the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history.
Nearly 6 months after losing the election, she also warned of a constitutional crisis if President Trump ignores court orders or Congress carrying out his agenda. While the U.S. keeps holding talks with Iran, trying to rein in its nuclear program, fear to be building weapons, this.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warning Iran it will face consequences over its support for Yemen's Houthi militants, who control northern Yemen and have been attacking ships in the Red Sea over what they say is solidarity with the Palestinians. Hegseth writing to Iran on X, "You know very well what the U.S. military is capable of, and you were warned. You will pay the consequence at the time and place of our choosing."
Fox's Lillian Wu. The U.S. has been attacking the Houthis with airstrikes since March. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
While Republicans in Congress keep working on a massive budget bill that Democrats warn could cut key programs like Medicaid, GOP Senator Joni Ernst has new legislation that aims to boost U.S. manufacturing with bigger federal loans, telling Fox.
The bill will actually double the amount of capital that our small businesses are able to secure from the Small Business Administration.
On Wall Street, stocks could surge at the opening bell. Dow and NASDAQ futures are both up more than 300 points. Scandal near Syracuse, New York, involving a high school lacrosse team.
Onondaga County DA Bill Fitzpatrick says all 11 West Hill High School players involved will be charged with unlawful imprisonment after taking the younger players on what they thought was a team trip last week that was to end in a McDonald's. The driver pretended to be lost and pulled over in a remote area where others were waiting in the woods, armed with at least one knife and a weapon that appeared to be a gun. He says one victim had his hands tied and a hood placed over his head and was led to believe he would be left there.
This goes way beyond, hazing.
The school outside Syracuse has canceled the remainder of the team's games for the season. In New York, Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
In the NBA playoffs, the Lakers are out. KO'd by Minnesota after the Timberwolves won Game 5 in L.A., 103-96. Luka Doncic, who was traded to the Lakers 3 months ago, said after the loss,
I think I didn't play the way I should. I think as a team, we didn't play the way we could. But I think congratulations to Minnesota. They play hell of a series. They were the better team, honestly.
Minnesota will play the winner of Houston versus Golden State. The Rockets stayed alive, forcing a Game 6, beating the Warriors last night 131-116. In the NHL playoffs, the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers advanced to the second round, eliminating Tampa Bay. Washington also moves on, knocking out Montreal. Winnipeg took a 3-2 series lead, beating St. Louis. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. Right now it is 44 degrees and cloudy. We will warm up to around 70 degrees today. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next, and also your chance to not win $1,000 but $10,000 in Win Keeler's Cash, so stick around. Your Win Keeler's Cash code is also next. 5 former corrections officers had their day in court yesterday over the death of inmate Robert Brooks. The ex-officers are among a group of 10 people accused of being involved in the beating death that took place at Marcy Correctional last December. The 5 considered plea offers but did not reach a decision yesterday because they were reviewing new discovery information of evidence that couldn't be accessed by the defendants or their legal teams. 2 corrections officers are charged with murder, while 3 are charged with manslaughter. All 5 are due back in court in mid-May, so they have more time to consider their options. Governor Kathy Hochul spoke yesterday about how the new state budget will positively impact the area. She referred to it as Mohawk Valley Budget Wins. Speaking of the child tax credit, as well as slashing taxes for the middle class and using inflation refund checks, she said it will put thousands into hardworking residents' pockets, especially amid a skyrocketing cost of living. Around 43,500 families in the area qualify for the child tax credit. It allocates up to $1,000 per child under the age of 4 and $500 for kids under the age of 16. A federal immigration judge in New Jersey is allowing a lawsuit filed by Columbia University grad Mahmoud Khalil against the Trump administration to move forward. Khalil claims the government is unlawfully detaining him for his political views. The judge shot down the Fed's effort to have the suit dismissed. Khalil was previously arrested by ICE officers in New York City and is being held in an immigration detention center. He is a pro-Palestinian activist and one of the organizers of protests on campus last year. Earlier this month, an immigration judge ruled that Khalil can be deported by the White House. And in just a few days, Centro is going to be providing a brand new service to veterans. Beginning May 5th, the transit company will start offering an unlimited ride pass that gives free rides on its regular bus routes to all qualified veterans. In order to receive the pass, a person must be approved through their local Veteran Services Agency. Once that is done, the pass can be picked up at their nearest Centro office, and it'll cover trips in Onondaga, Oneida, Oswego, and Cayuga counties. Your Keeler's Cash code. You can win $10,000. It is $10,000 Thursday on Win Keeler's Cash. The code is 365. All you need to do is head on over to WIBX950.com and under the Win Cash tab under the trending bar, enter code 365. That could win you $10,000 today. Your WIBX News Time, 8:08. Here is your full weather forecast.
Mild weather continues to surge back in after a chilly morning today. We're going to be into the 70s by tomorrow, but showers and thunderstorms are going to return. Clear cold start, sun later up near 70 degrees. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, mid-50s. Friday, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high near 75 degrees. Maybe some stronger storms late in the day and at night. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stitch at WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
44 degrees and cloudy right now. Now let's take a look at sports. The NBA postseason rolls on. The Timberwolves locked up their spot in the Western Conference semifinals with a 103-96 victory over the Lakers in Game 5 in Los Angeles. Elsewhere, the Rockets avoided elimination with a 131-116 Game 5 win over the Warriors in Houston. The action continues Thursday with a pair of Game 6 matchups. The Pistons play host the Knicks. The Nuggets pay a visit to the Clippers. Another NFL rookie says he received a prank call during the NFL draft. Giants pass rusher Abdul Carter received a call when the Jaguars were on the clock after acquiring the second overall pick from the Browns. The caller said he was from the Jaguars and would be selecting Carter second overall. Other players who received prank calls include the Browns' Shadir Sanders and Mason Graham, the Colts' Tyler Warren, and the Eagles' Kyle McCord, and the Bills' Chase Lund. One of the Jets' young signal callers is calling it a career. Backup quarterback Jordan Travis announced Wednesday that he is retiring from football. Travis suffered a gruesome leg injury while playing for Florida State in 2023. New York selected Travis in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, but his surgically repaired leg never fully recovered. He finished 5th in the Heisman Trophy voting after leading the Seminoles to an 11-0 record. 2 more teams advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs after the Capitals eliminated the Canadiens, and the Panthers knocked out the Lightning in 5 games. Elsewhere, the Jets took a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 first-round series against the Blues following a victory in Game 5. 4 Game 6s are on tap for Thursday. The Senators hope to stay alive when they host the Maple Leafs. The Golden Knights look to advance when they visit the Wild. The Avalanche are on the brink of elimination when they host the Stars, and the Oilers hope to close things out when they host the Kings. The Yankees came up short in their rubber match against the Orioles after falling 5-4 in the finale from Baltimore. Aaron Judge went deep with a 2-run bomb. He now has 10 home runs this season. New York still leads the AL East and will host the Rays for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. And the Mets were unable to extend their winning streak after falling to the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-3 in Queens. Ryan Stanek was tagged with the loss after allowing 2 runs on the hits of his relief appearance. Mark Vientos and Tyrone Taylor each went deep. New York, though, leads the NL East alongside the Yankees. They wrap up this 3-game series this afternoon. Your WIBX news time is 8:11. Again, your Keeler's cash code for this hour is 365. I'm Megan Stone on WIBX.
I want to tell you about a little bit of pain that may be caused by something other than you think, whether it be your hips or your legs or your feet or your even your lower back, can be caused by the shoes you're wearing and the way you're walking. The Good Feet store is now open in New Hartford at 4630 Commercial Drive, New Hartford. 315-999-3910 to make an appointment, but you don't need an appointment. You could just walk in and speak with one of their trusted team members of their Arch Support Specialist team. They transport lives every single day. They'll do an examination on you, and it really is just seeing how you walk, and you'll step on one of their devices, and it'll basically print out your footstep and your arch and where you may be having a bit of a problem when it comes to pain. The goal is, by the Good Feet store, is putting you into a position of pain-free, freedom from pain, and quality of life. It's a 3-step system, includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. 3 categories of arch support with varying levels of strength and support that work together to improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet. I'll be there this week getting mine, and I begin. It's a workout, Tim.
Oh.
Even though it isn't. You just put the inserts in and you just walk and do your everyday life stuff. And
you're more normal.
You become more normal, so they say.
That's a process.
Call them for an appointment at 315-999-3910, located on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, the Good Feet store.
Jake Cannell with Blues here, the Blues Brothers of Central New York, here at the Rome Capitol Theater, preparing for the CNY Onstage Live event.
And this event is going to be bigger than ever. It's showtime for 18 incredible acts on Saturday, May 10th at 7. Magicians, comedians, musicians, and Showtime the Band with special guests. CNY Onstage Live at the Capitol Theater, Saturday, May 10th at 7. Tickets on sale now.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Now through May 31st, get up to $140 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $70 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or bridgestonerewards.com for details.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Okay, in Albany, it continues the budget battle. This is not your traditional Republican versus Democrat budget battle. This is Democrat versus Democrat. That's really what's going on here.
Yep.
The Democrats are fighting amongst themselves, and there are a couple of issues. It is the access to mental health and the issues that really law enforcement are dealing with today, that oftentimes it's either drugs or it's mental health.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the drugs creates a mental health situation. And then the discovery laws is another problem that is you'll see DAs and sheriff's departments around the area saying they just don't have the people to keep up. The DA's office doesn't have the people to keep up with all of the paperwork, and then people are being released on technicalities. Yeah. People who have been charged with some pretty tough crimes. On the line right now is Sheriff Todd Hood, who is the sheriff, of course, in Madison County. Sheriff, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. So, what are you feeling any bit of optimism? Because I have a feeling we're going to be talking about, well, they didn't fix it, but it's better than it was before. It's kind of like the roof isn't leaking as bad as it was, but
yeah, this is like reoccurring in New York State, and it goes right down the line. You know, the HALT Act, raise the age bail reform. The only thing these legislations benefit are criminals.
I know.
That's it.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything for law enforcement or for the safety of New York citizens. So,
look at. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but look at the prison crisis we're dealing with. And you now have it's gotten so bad and so out of control. Look at the mess. It's all really, I think a lot of this stems from all of these laws and rules that are tying the hands of authorities.
Bill, just think about this. That HALT Act in our prisons and our county jails prohibits us from locking inmates in for a certain period of time, even when they're out of control. They have to be out of their cell. The frustration that the corrections officers go through by not having those tools.
Yeah.
We send our children to the room sometime for a timeout when they were little, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have grown, violent people in prison that they're not allowed to do that. The frustration level rises, the stress level rises, and then you have a disaster.
Yeah.
So instead of fixing the disaster now, they're just going to let them out. They're searching to see how they can get these prisons, and it's just an accountability issue in New York State. They just keep taking it away where there's no consequences for bad behavior or committing a crime. It's very frustrating.
It's funny how you make the comparison to children, and the philosophy that's coming out of Albany. And not just Albany, it's really across the country. We're becoming, I do think it's cyclical, but the philosophy is we don't punish, we incentivize. And I think that same philosophy has been used as part of the HALT Act in our prisons and jails. And the fact is, sometimes you gotta punish sometimes. I mean, and that's why they're in jail in the first place.
Right. Yeah. Bad behavior where they have to get away from society, get rehabilitated, serve their sentence, and hopefully come back better. But just by letting them out when, there's no reason to let them out or they're dangerous, you're endangering the public.
Well, let me ask you your thoughts on discovery laws. That's been a real problem. The DAs around the state, and it doesn't matter whether it's in a blue area or a red area, all saying that this has really tied their hands. Obviously, you'll hear from defense attorneys that say, I'm good with it. But DAs are saying this. We're people are being released on technicalities because we can't keep up.
Yeah. So here's a great fact for you. The number of cases dismissed for speedy trial violations went from 10,562 in 2019 when bail reform started. So that's 10,562 to 49,974 in 2024. Wow. That statewide is a 373% increase in cases dismissed for speedy trial.
Now, that can be everything from nonviolent to violent.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what is what's the answer? And I know that some changes are supposed to come out of this budget and policy in the budget. Are you confident? I mean, I know the Sheriff's Association has endorsed the changes that the same ones that the DAs have endorsed, but both saying it's still not enough. It's better than nothing, but it's not enough. What are your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We've been kicked around so bad in law enforcement and corrections. It's like any change can help. But I'll tell you what the greatest change of all would be is to repeal all this nonsense, all the legislation. And we're just overrun in Assembly and Senate in New York State. And I have to remind myself all the time, the majority of New Yorkers voted for this, and it's not upstate New York. The population of 1 square mile in Manhattan is around 70,000 people. That's my population of all of Madison County. So 1 square mile down there of voters equals 640 square miles of upstate New York and Madison County, and we just can't keep up with the vote down there. And apparently, a lot of these Assembly and Senate people have people in prison that they're trying to take care of by letting them out here. I have no idea what the mentality is, but it's just no accountability.
Well, you had the one assemblyman from New York City who was a tenant of one of our prisons, and he came up and really caused trouble and created a very, very dangerous situation. And somehow the prison system allowed him to spend the night to get a family. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and how can that happen? Somebody who is obviously contentious for the system now because he's been in there, gets elected, not a surprise down there with that kind of background, and now he's going to wreak havoc, as you said, on the system, just to for a little bit of revenge.
Sheriff, one of the things that I think really needs to be done is that, decades ago we decided, we were going to close down all the psych centers and somehow to free these people on the streets to be to be themselves. And I really think, and I know the interactions that law enforcement must have on a daily basis in regards to people who have mental issues in regards to it. And I know this, involuntary confinement probably isn't the most popular thing or whatever, but in some way, shape, or manner, we need to do it not only for, society, but for these people themselves in regards to it, to be able to hopefully get them back on the right track. Because this isn't urban camping, okay? And these dealing with this is just, it's terrible.
It really is. And, you hit the nail right on the head. We need psychiatric centers where we can put people and they can be admitted to. So we have a list of about 20 in New York State that we have to use for our correctional facility. The state used to pay half the bill. When they come in and they're deemed a mental issue, we have to get them trial ready when they go in. So the lowest rate per day in a New York State psychiatric center is $1,151 per day. For some of the children's services, that goes up to $3,560 per day. And then one of the high-end adult ones is $642. I just had an inmate that we had to get trial ready for 2 months in one of the psychiatric centers. It cost me $111,000.
Wow.
And the state used to pay half the bill. They don't pay any of it now. It's all on the counties. And I keep saying, they're closing down state prisons all over the place.
Yeah.
Make one of them in central New York a psychiatric center. Where we can have a place to put people to get them help.
Right.
And you're seeing it, and it's an increase. That's why we're dealing with an increase in the homelessness. I mean, there are communities like in the city of Utica where we just never saw anything like what we've seen in the last 5 years, because these are people that used to be getting services on their meds, and there was an institution to take care of them, and that's gone.
And there's somebody's son or daughter, or brother and sister.
Yep, there's no doubt.
Yep.
Okay, well, we've done a good job of complaining about everything, Sheriff. And
hey, you know what? It was very therapeutic for me to get that off. Thank
We'll
you
send
so
the
much.
we'll send the bill.
It's
Yeah, please do.
it felt good for us too, just so you know. So,
boy, that's great.
I almost feel like that's the best we've got, because, and interestingly, you do have it's upstate Democrats that are arguing with downstate Democrats right now, which is why this budget is late. I think we're outnumbered. I don't know where we're going here, so we will see.
I don't want to be a bummer. But the Sheriff's Association just released, New York State Sheriff's Association, 8 more of the laws that they're wheeling out.
Okay.
And it's more of the same madness. The first one's the elder parole bill, where if you're over 55, you have to get let out of prison for your sentence. I got to tell you, I've dealt with people in my career that murdered their wives, went to the hospital and actually killed them in the hospital after they tried to kill them outside. People like that are going to be eligible for parole to get out of here. And I'll tell you, at age 56, I'm pretty sure I could commit a crime at age 56 right now. And they're going to be letting all these people out too.
Listen, this is unbelievable. I feel so empowered at 60.
I'm 71. The things I can do.
Terrible, and especially with a weapon, with guns and everything.
The great equalizer.
At 50, just because they're 55 now, they want to let them out, and they're going to try to make parole like mandatory. Like, parole is an entitlement. You don't have to earn it to get out of state prison. And there's just more and more on the medically assisted treatment, giving them the Suboxone and the drugs in jail. So
well, and you know what? Senator Griffo used to always talk about this and say, "I'm warning people. Make sure you get out there and vote. If we were to lose our majority in the Senate, there will be no normalcy. All this stuff will be free to pass." And that's exactly what has happened. So, all right,
very true words.
Interesting. All right, thank you, Sheriff, for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have a great day. Stay safe.
You do the same. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, that's Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood. Chris wants to comment. I'm sorry I didn't get you to the sheriff, but good morning, Chris.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Good morning, Christian.
Yes.
How are you? What's going on? Is there an update on your case?
No, I'm still waiting. They had till the 9th. No, but I just wanted to comment on the sheriff, his comments on, the DAs, how hard it is for them. Oh, gee whiz, what a sad story. But what he doesn't seem to understand is that when the DA does not provide the defense with all of the discovery, the defense cannot properly defend themselves.
Right.
It's not about helping the, quote, criminals. You're not a criminal till you're convicted. But when you're on trial and the DA does not give you all of the information, you don't have the full story. Does you understand that?
Can I tell you one thing? This is the first time, this is the very first time that I can honestly say that you are on the same page with Frank Policelli. Yeah. Frank completely agrees with you on this. He feels, as a defense attorney, that he feels it levels the playing field. Now, the DAs don't feel the same way, but, we'll see.
That's because the DAs, they want everything their way. You see, they want a nice, easy road to victory. They don't want to have to fight. And that's the problem they have with me right now. They get in that ring, they're getting knocked out cold. See, because they cheated me the first time. And Policelli and Malachi aided them in their cheating of me. That's okay.
Well, you don't agree there.
Me.
All right.
What?
I said you don't agree with Policelli there.
Policelli and I, look, I can agree with him on a lot of things, but he knows what he did to me, okay? And I'll leave that there.
All right. Well, let's see. I hope you update us when your case develops, and I know it's coming soon.
Well, I'll tell you what. Friday, May 9th, expect a call from me, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. How's that?
All right, Christian, thank you for the update.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break, and coming up, we'll update the news at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. A Utica man was arrested for an alleged carjacking. According to Utica police, officers were called to the 1400 block of Erie Street, where a victim claimed they were entering their car as 34-year-old David Colon allegedly dragged them from their vehicle and took the keys from their hands before fleeing in the car. Authorities say they found surveillance footage of the alleged incident and identified Colon as the suspect. The car was found abandoned on Orchard Street the next day. Colon was arrested Tuesday and charged with second-degree robbery. Onondaga County District Attorney William Fitzpatrick says 11 West Hill High School students accused of hazing have all surrendered. The students are members of the school's boys lacrosse team and allegedly staged a kidnapping of at least one teammate last week. They were given 48 hours to turn themselves in, and in exchange, they would only be ticketed for unlawful imprisonment and wouldn't be charged as adults. They'll also be tried in family court, so they won't have criminal records. An investigation is still underway following the discovery of human remains in Webster. According to authorities, the remains were spotted after they washed ashore near Lake Road yesterday. A local contractor found the remains and contacted law enforcement. The remains were taken for an autopsy, and anyone with information on this case is asked to come forward. Attorney General Letitia James has released the body camera footage depicting the in-custody death of a Barneveld man. Matthew Brown became unresponsive during an arrest by New York State Police on March 24th. The camera shows officers struggling to comprehend a confused Brown, who kept approaching the officers despite being told to keep his distance. Officers struggled to detain Brown for a mental health evaluation and forced him to the ground so they could handcuff him. He continued to struggle as police instructed him to breathe, and he lost consciousness before the ambulance arrived. Brown was pronounced dead at the hospital. And a new tool using artificial intelligence has been able to diagnose arthritis with an accuracy of 98%. Researchers in South Korea say the system analyzes fluid in joints to distinguish between osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. While the two have similar symptoms, they have different causes and treatments. Accurately determining which is which could make all the difference. The report was published in the journal Small. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Mild weather continues to surge back in after a chilly morning today. We're going to be into the 70s by tomorrow, but showers and thunderstorms are going to return. Clear cold start, sun later up near 70 degrees. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, mid-50s. Friday, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a high near 75 degrees. Maybe some stronger storms late in the day and at night. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we are at, I lost it here. I believe we're at 46 degrees right now under cloudy skies. And, Davey, we'll get into the upper 60s today, so it's not going to be that terrible. But tomorrow, 70, and then don't look for the weekend. And I really feel bad. I hope it's going to be nice enough for the, and we can talk about this, we'll talk about it with the Herkimer County events website, but the Herkimer County Outdoor Showcase that has been rescheduled because of rain last weekend is scheduled for Friday and Saturday at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds this weekend. I worry that they're going to be right back into some inclement weather. Some comments here this morning. Bill Morehouse, I have investment advice for you this morning from the comptroller. If you take that $400 that Kathy Hochul is going to be giving and put it on the Giants to win the Super Bowl, wow, this is a major prediction from Bill Morehouse. Take that $400 from Kathy Hochul, put it on the Giants to win the Super Bowl, you'll have $64,400. And that is something you can work with. How about that? He is, yes, he said. Hold on. Check his forehead and see if he's got a fever. He said, yes, the Giants will win the Super Bowl. Jackson Dart will be Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player. Here come the Giants.
Wow. Mark this episode.
They are 160-1 to win, and if you put $400 on that, it would pay over $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
There's a reason why there's those odds.
Yes, that is. Yes. Let's see. Joe, this morning, Joe Malachi, World Series of Botch registration opens today.
Oh,
so
what
we're
an
already,
important day today.
It is. May 1st is, and
Big
May
day.
1st, of course, is the great Socialist
Workers' Day.
Yeah, big
That's
day.
March.
Mm-hmm. Is there it's almost like an oxymoron when you say the Socialist Workers.
Exactly.
Maybe not.
They pretend to pay us and we pretend to work.
That's exactly
That's
exactly it. And do
Russia.
I have somebody else? I guess a bunch more comments I can get to off the YouTube channel, and as well as the app, the WIBX 950 app coming up. Listen, I had a call from somebody yesterday, two call and an email, asking what is the name of that company in Rome that does the small amount of concrete. And we're talking about Mohawk Valley Manufacturing.
Correct.
Lower East Dominic Street in Rome. So you have a smaller project. You don't need 7 yards or 8 yards of concrete. There will be no waste. You're not paying for concrete that you don't use. They have a smaller mixer that is European style, so it can get into places that the larger cement mixers cannot get into. And they don't have a minimum. A large truck, a normal order that we're used to, may have a 7 or 8 yard minimum. You may only need 2 yards of that. So think of the waste. Think of the money you're spending on what you're not going to use. Doesn't happen here at Mohawk Valley Manufacturing. You could get 1 yard of concrete if you need it, 2 yards if you need it. They can keep coming all day long. You can get 10 yards if that's what you're looking for. That's what they do, but there's no minimum. As little as 1 yard of concrete delivered to your home or your workplace or your job, whether you're the contractor or you're the homeowner doing it yourself. You can text them or call 315-748-5886. 315-748-5886. Text or call. Same-day service available. Mohawk Valley Manufacturing in Rome.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, Tim, I will ask you. Tim Reed is in here this morning.
Yes.
And he'll be here every day for the next 3 months.
Not.
I asked him. Well, you were here on Monday, right? We needed guest hosts. I'm trying something, and maybe we can do it right now. I'm trying something.
What?
And I want you to know what you think of it. And
I don't like it.
You probably won't, but. Listen, I'll explain what it is coming up in a second. Okay. It involves guest hosts.
Oh, good.
But I asked Tim, you made the mistake
of saying, stupid text.
How are things going? You all set for Monday? Yeah. And I said, oh, how you're going to wish you did not ask me. And then Tim was in Monday, and I think your comment to me was, I'll come in, but it can't be my full-time job.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You have a way of gaining jobs since retirement.
I know.
Everybody wants you to work with them.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to tell you about Revive Softwave Therapy. Have you this? I'm about to do this.
My wife
treatment.
uses it.
She does.
Yes.
And what part of the
frozen shoulder?
Shoulder. You feel it like in my back it hits the spot.
Yeah.
And that's really important when Dr. Delmedico says, "Let me know when I hit the spot," because that way I know we're right on, and you know.
And
you feel it.
He's very honest in regards to creating expectations and whatever. He's not a over-promiser and under-deliverer.
The reality is that it really is it's almost like an osteopathic approach that we talk about with the Falcon Clinic. But in this case, it's simulating an injury, and all the stem cells in the blood, that all rushes to that area to repair one's self.
Yep.
And it really, it's the natural way to do it. This is, by the way, is approved by the FDA. If you're interested in their $99 new patient special, the introductory offer, call the office with Dr. Timothy Delmedico. Revive Softwave Therapy at 315-725-8427. And you'll see you'll see people in there, Yep. Even the Reeds, you may very well see.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. All right. Damian Fortune is a cybersecurity expert, and he is the CEO of Centrix. And there is, some of these scams that are out there today are pretty mind-blowing. Damian, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we're talking about what is... GENAI. It's the future of fraud and why we all might be an easy target right here. What is this GENAI?
So it's Gen AI, short for generative AI. Think of Chat GPT or any of these other tools that you give it some sort of prompt and it produces something for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you feel that people are going to use that. Obviously, like any other technology, we use things in a good way, and then there are people that use it nefariously.
Exactly right. I mean, these tools have really changed the way that fraudsters do things. The Nigerian prince sending you a poorly worded email about sharing his inheritance with you is a thing of the past, right? Now these guys can use Chat GPT or these other tools to write thousands upon thousands of convincing emails every day that look like a legitimate business, have the right images in the in the body of the email text, or they look like someone that you know even. And, their whole goal is to get you to click on a link or to send them money somehow.
So I had, and I think I'm pretty up on these things. We have to take classes here. They're always trying to trick us at this company.
Some are tricked,
and I find I'm pretty good. And in fact, I'm coaching others and talking to my parents about don't click on stuff. But every once in a while, they catch you at a moment where you're in the middle. The work is piled up. You're frantic, and the key to this, I feel, is they catch you with something that you're in the middle of. Oh, it's a throughway, New York State throughway email. I was just on the throughway. What happened? Right? When in reality, it's all about timing. And they do so much of this. I think they're hoping a couple of these stick. Am I correct with that?
That's right. I mean, for them, because of these tools, they can send out so many scams and so many iterations of it that they're just trying to hit you with one that catches you onto the back foot so that you're in a rush and you can't think about all that training that you received in the classes that you got at work.
And then, of course, there's the elderly population that they're targeting, and it's so difficult. This stuff gets better and better. If AI is where it is now, where is it going to be in 5 years?
It's going to be in a scarily convincing place.
Yeah. All right. What do you suggest people do, Damien?
The big thing is you just have to take that second to breathe. These things always kind of fall apart when you look at them a little bit more closely. The emails be from some weird email address that you don't recognize, or if they're using the voice synthesizer thing, the person might sound like who you expect them to sound like, but they're not talking the way that they normally would. Things like that. You just have to slow down. Yeah. Slow down, take a deep breath, and boy, if you're clicking on a link, you're better off going to that bank's website or government agency's website and get in through there in your own controlled setting as opposed to clicking on a link. Exactly right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Damien. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day. I had one the other day that was on Facebook, and it was a Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And it's somebody who was a relative, somebody who I knew. And all of a sudden it was, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from this person in a while. And then they were like, hey, have you heard about the big HHS story?
Oh.
Like,
uh-oh.
And I'm thinking maybe he's giving me a story to talk about on the radio.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, what is the story? And then this long email came, this long text message came, how he had just cashed his $200,000 check, and that he can help me get the $200,000 check. And I said,
all you need to do is just send a certain amount of money for the deposit to help.
That's exactly right.
That check work through.
He said, have you gotten your check yet? And I said, yes, I just bought a boat. So, and then I blocked him. So, all right, I got a break. Hold on. Lucia, I will get to you coming up. Stand by. Stand by for news. Coming up at WIBX.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there's one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
Jake Cannell with Blues here of the Blues Brothers of Central New York, here at the Rome Capitol Theater, preparing for the CNY Onstage Live event.
and this event is going to be bigger than ever.
It's showtime for 18 incredible acts on Saturday, May 10th at 7. Magicians, comedians, musicians, and Showtime the Band with special guests. CNY on stage live at the Capitol Theater, Saturday, May 10th at 7. Tickets on sale now.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Speaking of these scams, do you get the one from Meta? I'll read it. I just got one that came in right now.
Oh, good.
I get them all day
Please
long.
forward it if it's a bad one.
I get them all day long. Let's see. Oh, and I got on a Facebook users group. Is it a users group? And it's a cancer group.
Oh.
So I looked it up, and it's a chronic myeloid leukemia group. And I really wish I didn't sign up because...
Oh, they've got info to give you.
Oh, my God. It is doom and gloom and nothing but things that depress you. Holy cow.
All bad all the time.
Since, this one person,
Exactly.
since I've been on the medicine, I put on 500 pounds. I can't walk. I can't talk. It's like...
Have a nice day.
And listen, the alternative, though, is what?
Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
My God. Anyway, this Meta one that I get here is that Facebook now?
Yes.
And here's the best part. We have an automatic on my radio Facebook page. There's an automatic reply. So no matter what scam comes in, this is why I think I keep getting them, is because I always reply with, "Hi, thanks for contacting us." and then I put in my real email address.
Oh, so they forwarded
like
right
an
in.
idiot. Your Facebook page will be permanently deleted due to lack of interaction and authorship verification, which violates our community standards. Press this link to solve the problem.
Yep.
Signed, rebrand.ly, Meta Support Team. That's garbage. I have some comments to get to, and we'll get to them coming up. Lucia commenting on the phone. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm on a mission. Can you help me?
Okay, all right.
I need to find Brad Davis. Brad.
Oh, Brad. Yeah.
Brad
is, it's funny, I just recently had spoken with Brad. He's doing very, very well.
You did?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yes. What a great team you were then. And now you're alone and you're the best. You're always, wow.
It was. Those were the golden days.
Wow.
Golden days of radio
the
theater.
golden era.
Yes, Lucia.
Crazy, exciting, fun, everything in the package. I leave it to you.
Yes.
You could do anything.
I couldn't do anything. We did anything, and that was where I probably got myself in a little trouble. So, all right.
So what? It's
Right.
part of the beauty. It's part of. Listen, boring. Things will be boring. You know.
You're absolutely right.
You were who you were. You had to do what you had to do. You did it. Be proud and move on.
Hold on, I'm writing this down. I plan on giving this speech to my wife later today.
And I want to know. I want to know who's the perfect person. Perfect. I want to know what it is.
Who's the one? Oh, there are no perfect people, Lucia.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
So don't worry about anything.
I'm laying odds on the next pope. We'll see what happens. It's coming soon. May 9th is the day they begin the. Is it May 9th or May 7th? One of those days coming up there. 7th?
I don't even know.
Okay.
But
all right.
If you talk to Brad,
yes.
I want to talk to Brad. Tell him.
I will let him know. And unfortunately, he always calls me on a blocked line. I don't think he wants me having his phone number. I don't know why.
Oh my God! I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's not true.
I hope it's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah,
No. I don't think so.
All right. Well, happy May Day, Lucia.
Happy May Day. Ciao.
Right. Have a good day. Ciao. 315-736-0186. John Decker is in the midst of a. By the way, he's up for an Emmy.
Really?
On a story he did on a World War II veteran in Texas, and it was a great story. I saw it. And then he even followed up afterwards. He and his wife went to visit the veteran. And John Decker he's a chief White House correspondent with Great TV, normally comes on Thursday mornings, and he's in the middle of a press conference right now, so is unable to come on at this point, but he is up for an Emmy, a news Emmy, which is pretty cool. I want to tell you about Herkimer County's website. It's herkimercountyny.gov. And it is really a site that's set aside for everything that's happening in Herkimer County, everything going forward, and items that happen here in the middle of the week, things that go on during the weekend. I mentioned the big event that is happening, and I feel so bad for these guys that are holding the Herkimer County Outdoor Showcase. Last week, they were rained out. This week, they've rescheduled it. So they have all these outdoor things, everything from, ATVs to RVs to camping and hunting. It looks like rain Saturday and Sunday again. Yeah. It's terrible. That's available on the site. There's the big Now and Then DJ Rocking the Lanterns. And that happens on Friday, tomorrow from 7 until midnight at the Lanterns, if you haven't been there in a while. Yeah. That's a big event going on. And then, of course, the big craft show, the Galinsky Apartments Spring Craft Show in Herkimer, happens on Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Where, you ask? At the Galinsky Apartments. Oh. That's where it's going to be held.
Hence the name. Where?
There's so much happening in Herkimer County.
Where?
You can check it out at herkimercountyny.gov. Davey, you're adding to this?
Wants to know where.
I wanted to know where. I might go and check that out on Saturday.
It's the Galinsky Apartments on Protection Avenue in Herkimer.
I do go to craft shows once in a while.
You have that.
You.
You're crafty.
Not really.
You're a little crafty. Okay, let's see. Davey, what did you think of the pickup? I know we wanted to get your opinion on the Bills receiver pickup.
The 1-year deal with Elijah Moore yesterday?
Yeah.
Great move for the Bills. What do you guys think?
I think the more weapons you can give to Josh Allen, the better. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I really would like him to bring back Amari Cooper. He's a free agent, but...
One of the things that Tim and I were talking about with the Bills that's extremely important is you got to get that defense up to par.
Yep.
Way too many games that were, the Bills scored a lot of touchdowns and a high-scoring affair, but the defense allowed the other team to score too. That's a problem. Rolling Stone magazine has ranked the best movie dogs of all time. Oh. What's my out time here, by the way?
Whatever you want.
Whatever I want?
Yeah, you can go out.
Don't walk out now.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll write it down.
Rolling Stone magazine has ranked the best movie dogs of all time. Number one was, do you remember? That was our free money question this morning. Lassie was number one. What was number two? Air Bud. Buddy the dog.
Yeah.
Buddy from Air Bud is number two. And then, surprisingly, Toto, the Wizard of Oz, number three. John in Bridgewater said, what about, he had one dog that he was thinking about. Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of those.
I don't know, though. That one's kind of...
Here's a little...
I got the rabies.
Here is a little audio on the top 3 dog movies. Here we go.
Oh. What, Lassie? Timmy fell in the well?
I believe this is Lassie music,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
This is kind of a little before my time, though. But
it was in my wheelhouse.
You liked Lassie? Yeah. And then, of course, Air Bud and Wizard of Oz coming in. I'll Get You, My Pretty, and Your Little Dog, too, falls in there at number 3. What else did I want to squeeze in before? How about the woman in New York pulled over for speeding for doing 102 miles an hour on Sunday with a 2-year-old in the SUV. She told police she was late for what? Let's guess. What do you think she was late for?
Daycare?
Wrong. Davey, you want to say she was late for?
To go to the casino and win some money.
That sounds very realistic. The answer is, officer, I'm late for a Thomas the Train event. And she was doing 102 miles an hour.
Wow.
Donna this morning says you forgot Cujo.
That's kind of a
We did.
It's a grim one.
All right, listen, tomorrow, I don't know if you know it, but tomorrow is Friday.
And Congressman John Mannion will be in studio.
Tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Back here tomorrow morning. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of fun and simple things you and your family can do to live a healthier lifestyle. Here's 20 of them. Eat less, eat slower, eat smarter, eat your fruits and veggies. Stop eating before you're full. Up your fiber, lower your calories, get off the bus early, do some gardening, do jumping jacks, take the stairs, take one, not two, take on a new sport, take a long walk home, walk instead of drive, bend, stretch, reach for the stars, climb the monkey bars, skip the fudge bars. Search We Can online to find more ways you and your family can get healthy together. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Swimming pools can be lots of fun, but they can be dangerous too, especially for young children. Always practice simple safety steps to prevent tragedies. Fence all pools. Teach kids to swim. And always watch them around water.
No horseplay.
Simple steps save lives. To learn new life-saving steps, visit poolsafely.gov.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It helps the U.S. and Ukraine. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what National Security Advisor Mike Waltz just said about the minerals deal that's finally been signed.
This deal is good for the American taxpayer that is recouping the billions of dollars that we've put into supporting Ukraine.
And Waltz also tells Fox this morning
it's good for Ukraine and helping it grow the pie in terms of its development and reconstruction, and it's good for its security.
As the negotiations continue with Ukraine and Russia trying to end the war, still raging with more deadly attacks today. The U.S. is also holding trade talks with numerous countries with tariffs on hold, but those tariffs remain in place in a trade war with China. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox Business they will resolve this.
This is going to be a multi-step process. First, we need to de-escalate, and then over time, we will start focusing on a larger trade deal.
We just got news on the economy showing an 8% increase in first-time unemployment claims last week to 241,000. And the number of Americans continuing to collect jobless benefits surged up 83,000 to 1.91 million, the most since November 2021. A high school lacrosse team's season has been canceled near Syracuse, New York, in a hazing scandal. Some players on the West Hill High team are accused of tricking younger teammates on a trip to McDonald's, saying they were lost, taking them to a wooded area where they were threatened with weapons and told they might be